Peoples of the universe, please attend carefully. The message that follows is vital to the future of you all.
Hello, how are you? Very important thing when YouTubing. I'm trying to find this thing on my desk, which was there. Oh, no, it's under my desk. Fine. I'll grab that in a second. Very important thing when YouTubing, right? Very important thing. One of the, I would say, step one for YouTubing, right, is to know the button to press so you can go on to the YouTubes. If you don't know which button to press, you do get a little bit confused sometimes. Sorry, I'm just quite discombobulated. I'm putting everything together. It is a strange time of year, ladies and gentlemen. It is a strange time of year for the Rabbi, and let's make no mistake. Yesterday was Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. So the basic idea is this, and the Jewish New Year about a week earlier, you are rebooted, right? But at the same time, you also you're judged. You know when you go, "Don't judge me," that's exactly what God does. You are judged, right? It's a day of judgment, but also, and reality is rebooted in basically in whatever you have made yourself into, right? I am a big believer in that. You are the baker and your life is the bread. It's like you are who you are, you get what you get, right? So anyway, it's basically again like an annual review. So in metaphor, your judgment is then written. You're either written the book of life, book of life, or the book of death. It's very heavy, right? Life or death. You're not actually praying for wealth and happiness and stuff like that. Well, actually, you're praying for happiness, but until this Saturday. Anyway, so it's a big. So that's the day, but it's not. The book is not then sealed. Put the roll still until the Day of Atonement. So you have until that day to get yourself together and if you look at, so basically you're supposed to look at yourself and go, well, that's it needs a little bit of a buffing, on your psyche, so on your soul. So you decide you need to do something. I'm actually going to start. You know what? I'm going to start this thing, a daily thing, which I think is universally good for everyone. I don't know if it'll take off or not. I do not know. It's there's this idea in Judaism, which is it's bad to talk derogatively about yourself, about anyone. It's a bad thing. We're not pro, right? So Jews, because they're Jews are very fastidious people. They're called the people of the book, and they're not entirely wrong, right? They are very annoying nerds. Okay, that's with annoying nerds without the charm. So they have that aspect to them. That is my people. So there is a book where you can study a different law in how to not speak derogatively about yourself, about others in any way, and it gives you another facet of looking at it, right? And it is called a way a day. And you do one of these different. There's a little story, and there's a little Jewish law, right? They're all pertaining to this thing of speaking well of others and judging people. Well, so I think we might start doing that. I think I was going to start that today, but I forgot. I just remembered right now. So I think we're going to do it. So then it was Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is basically on the Jewish New Year, you're very proactive, right? You're doing all you're creating the reality. Again, this is a universal truth that there's a two steps to creation. You create in thought, it's called makshava in Judaism. You visualize it, you create it in your head, and then you have the vision. Having that vision, that's the first creation. But the second creation is much harder, because then you got to make it in this world, right? Now you have a complete control over what you can visualize, and think big, people, think big. And then Alan Moore says, and I do agree with him completely, there is a porous nature between fiction and reality. They're both, I think, basically artificial states. I don't think reality is as real as you think it is, and I don't think it's much more real than fiction, right? So there is a porous layer between, and he will write things and it will happen. He will write about a malevolent clown, and then there's a malevolent clown living on a street, and that actually happened. Stuff like that happens, and I do hear it, because you can control this, right? If you can direct it, you have If you can like visualize whatever you want. You can envision whatever you want to envision. But now then you have complete control. But in Kabbalistic thought, in Judaism, in Jewish thought, then we have zero control about anything that happens within the physical world, right? Zero. Like we think we have control, but it's all illusionary. You know what it's like? I remember this blew my mind, right? Making a Star Wars, the very first making of Star Wars, and it was the first making of movie. It was like half-hour special. It was on TV. You had the Millennium Falcon flying in over the Chinese theater. You know, and it flew overhead, and then it was like C-3PO and R2-D2 were on a set, and they're telling about making a Star Wars, and it has some archive footage of Anthony Daniels in, I think it was then, or maybe it might have been on Swap Shop around the same time. I think it might be. Now I think my memories mix things up. I think it might be Swap Shop. Anyway, there was this thing, Anthony. So the C-3PO has a piston. They go, yeah, makes a. So what? It's not really a piston because he's not really a robot. It's a guy wearing a suit, Anthony Daniels. So when Anthony Daniels opens and closes his arm, it makes it look like the piston's going up and down. So that's essentially what reality is. Like we believe we are doing something, but we're really not, right? It's all facade and illusion. I really kind of fundamentally believe that in a disturbing way. But yeah, I think. But we have so. Okay, so that's we're not going to get into the nature of reality into that detail. Okay, fine. So. Yeah, so you created this reality. It's sealed on Yom Kippur. So the Jewish New Year, you're creating the reality. You're doing it. That's it, creating it in thought. And then you got, Yom Kippur is actually a great gift, which is just like a Jewish gift. What a Jewish cultural gift would be like. Hey kids, you don't get to eat for a day, and it will suck. That's the gift. But Yom Kippur is basically a day that if you just do what God tells you to do, right? If you follow a basic procedure, when you don't even have to really mean it that much, you just got to I think, go through the actions with there's some criteria, right? There is criteria to this, but you get a kapora. A kapora is a level of forgiveness. So like it's a big. So basically, you're rebooting your and you're like getting your soul cleaned, right? 1 second. So that just happened. Yom Kippur is a big deal. Now, Yom Kippur, we go straight into the holiday of Sukkot, which is that's where I am now. That's what I was going to talk to you about. I'm going to get into geeky stuff. Don't worry, it's all happening. It's all happening today. But you got to know where I am because it's weird at the best of cases. The best case scenario, I just had it get weirder. Okay, get weirder. So look. Buckle in, buckaroos. Oh, and we got the nutballs on Twitter are acting up. In the chat, if you want me to go and read the tweet, they're freaking hilarious. They're freaking hilarious. Oh my god. Oh god. You know when? Listen, I think many of you out there probably experienced young parenthood, right? And there is a time when you have like a toddler, right, who doesn't realize he's a toddler. I think he's a big boy, and he's like, and it's kind of cute. So that's what the Twitter weirdo, the guy. What's that guy? I call him Mr. Nutsack, Captain Nutsack. Let's call him Captain Nutsack. No, yeah, you know him, Captain Nutsack, who is totally not the kid who hounded an incredibly one of the best people. I didn't actually know her at the time, actually. Really, I didn't really know Starry-Eyed Girl at the time. Now I know her. It's like, okay, listen, I basically like people, right? I'm not like, but I basically like people. But there are few people, I think that's because I'm a very egotistical person. Few people who I place above me. And Starry's totally one of them. She's just great. I mean, she's funny and clever and all that stuff, but she's so. I appreciate a good put down, right? I just do. I'm like, and she's so good. And I can't believe anyone drove her off Twitter because she's just so good at like. I mean, it's like, oh, she's deadly. Brilliant. Oh, so I do appreciate that. So I didn't know at the time. So that kid, not the same guy as well. Captain Nutsack is not at Biggest Dickus. Okay, actually, he's not at Tiny Dickus. He's Tiny Dickus. Okay, that's who he. They're not the same guy at all. No. They just share every other character. And you know how we know how? By the way, it's important. This is an important point I should bring out. You know how we know they're not the same person, right? This is how. Okay, in Violet Proof, it's because they told us, right? They told us, right? They're not saying. So there you go. Okay, that's that argument one, I guess. Fine. So anyway. So yeah, so look, if you guys want to chat, let me know. I'm happy to read out the tweets. They're really funny. They're really funny. But it's okay. I don't mind not doing it either. We can just keep it encapsulated enough. Anyway, so then we've got the holiday of Sukkot coming up. Sukkot's a weird one. Okay, Sukkot is a weird one, and it's a weird one for Jews. Okay, and Jews are pretty weird. Okay, Jews don't eat bread for a week, and they get rid of anything that was touched by grain. For a week. It's like they do that. We have to clean it. It's a big deal, okay? Every freaking year. We have a Thanksgiving meal. We have a Christmas meal every freaking week, okay? Every Friday night, we're there, every Saturday, it's a big, every week. So, yeah. And this is weird for us, right? So this is the holiday of Sukkot. So here's the first thing, which I don't do. I did it a number of years, and I had to tranquilize myself with Xanax to sort of succeed. You make yourself a little booth, okay, and you're supposed to dwell within it. A little booth, yeah. And it's not supposed. And you're supposed to be able to see the stars through it. And there's of course, because it's Jews, there's a billion laws about it. You got to put these particular types of like covering on it. It has to be organic and it can't be attached to the ground. It's a gunsamizer. Okay, it's a gunsamizer. So we make these little booths, right? And we do. We were able to get their Sukkot setting up. I got my son. He actually came at Trump's today. I didn't have to put my boot up his ass once. He just did it. I was like, okay, I'm pretty impressed. Fine. So they've got these little booths. That's weird in itself. You're supposed to sleep there. I can't freaking do that. I did it a couple of years. You need to that. Oh, that was kind of fun when we did it because the whole family slept there, right? It was really kind of cool because, like, I had this futon bed. Me and my wife slept in, and we had these couches, and all the kids were little, right? So we all slept on couches. We watched a James Bond movie in the sukkah, in bed. It was really, we had those years were fun, but the kids got older and they grew out of it, and I grew out of it. I just couldn't do it anymore. I was running it. My wife wouldn't let me anyway. So I don't do that anymore. But we do. You're not allowed. You have to have festive meals, right? And you have to have them in the sukkah unless it gets too hot, right? Unless it rains. So yeah, you got that going on, right? At the same time, as part of the daily prayer service. Okay, which normally comes with you wear a prayer shawl, right? And then you got these little boxes. You put one on your arm and one here, put on your head, and don't even ask. Okay, so you don't need the boxes for this week. It's that holy, right? Boxes, boom, keep them away. We don't need them. Bam, that's done. Put them in storage, right? So, but instead, you think, hey, I don't get the boxes, and they've got leather straps on. There's a rabbi. This is a true story. He was putting on, they're called tefillin. He was putting on his book, wrapping his arm with a leather strap. This guy, it was like 1974 in New York. This guy comes up and says, "Hey man, you can't shoot up here, man." That was kind of common in New York at the time. So you got so we don't have that this week. No boxes, right? No boxes. But instead you need a couple of other religious items for services. Okay, so you need a palm frond. No, I'm not making it up. You need a palm frond, right? And it's got to be thin and tall. And of course, because we're bloody Jews, there's a million bloody laws about it, And it depends what type of Jew you are. What type of Jew it depends what laws apply to you. If you're a Middle Eastern Jew, right, you can have the majority. I'm not making this up, okay? This is all real. You can have the majority of the leaves opened half of the way, right? As long as it's 49%, not majority, 49%, and it's still fine. However, if you're European, that's instead is translated as you can only have the you can't have the top one, the central leaf open at all. And then you've got to look at the leaf and make sure it's point out, and it's about big one. And people have there is a dick thing going on. People do get big ones, and they're like, because you need it as part of your service. So you get that out, right? You got your palm frond. Mine's already been delivered. I got a nice one. Thank you very much. Then what palm frond is not complete. This is real. I'm going to take pictures and show you because it's insane, right? The palm frond is not complete without a lemon. So it's a lemon-like fruit called a citron, right? Okay, and of course, because we're bloody Jews, there's a billion bloody laws about it. So the better type of citron you can get, the better, right? It's called. You've got to get it as nice as you can. So the pièce de résistance, or lemon-like fruit. And they were so ignorant about this in Europe at the time. They didn't know what part of a fruit you're supposed to eat. Are you supposed to eat the peel or the bit inside? Which bit you throw away? But that didn't matter. They still knew what was a good fruit. Now this fruit was actually supposed to be the fruit, the tree in the Garden of Eden. Anyway, an etrog it's called. So you get, but if you got a little thing on the top of it called a piton, right? A little bit on the top called the piton. Then, so I normally get a piton because I'm a how can I describe it? A bit of a showy cunt. I'm a bit of a showy cunt. I would describe myself as that. That's fair. So fine. So I have that. However, I wasn't sure if I was kosher. So I actually asked. I took pictures of it and showed my local rabbi. Who I love my local rabbi. I'll tell you, I will take a bullet for him. He's wonderful. So what am I going to say? So he said, yeah, no, I was sure it wasn't kosher. He was like, nah, that's fine. So I'm like, fine, no problem. So I was having my whole etrog, my whole lemon thing going on. That's fine, got that sorted out. I'm going to return. He gave me a spare one, but didn't have the piton on. So anyway, so I got my piton on. It's all ready to go. And then you need a myrtle leaf, 3 myrtle leaves, and 2 willow leaves. Right, and you hold them together and you shake them. You shake them in 6 directions because there's a million bloody laws about that because we're bloody Jews, right? That's what's going on there. So, and then we do that and part of an extended morning prayer service. Now, normally when you're in synagogue, you do that. There's a bit of it called the hosannas. We call them Hoshanas, but you'll probably know them from hosannas. It's what. Yeah, if you watch Jesus Christ Superstar, that bit when he comes to Jerusalem, that's actually Sukkot, right? And the songs of praise, these Hoshanas. But it involves there's a bit in the middle of a synagogue called the Bima, which is where you read the Torah from, right? And it involves us all walking in unison around that thing while holding our fruit, right, and saying a verse each time. Hoshana, and then makes one step. Okay. And we can't do it because we're Jews and we don't have any rhythm. Okay, I do hope, and this I hope this is not racist, but I do hope one of the many lost tribes of Israel, one of them's black, please, because we don't have any rhythm. I mean, Ethiopia's not bad, but we're kind of scared of them. So anyway, so that's going. So that normally we do that, but this year we can't because we're not in the synagogue, right? So we're all outside. I don't know what's going to be, but it's going to be freaky. So we got that going. So then okay, so we got that. That's the setting, right? And I'll give you like a little an interesting parallel, biblical parallel from which I really like. So one of my favorite episodes in the Bible in Genesis is where Jacob's coming back to Israel, right? And he meets like this stranger, right? He meets like the ghost, this angel. And it's supposed to be the angel of the other guy, his brother Esau, right? And they wrestle, and it's like, what it's like? That bit in the Three Doctors where all of a sudden Patrick Troughton's wrestling with a guy in a big rubber ball. And that's what it was like. It's this weird it doesn't happen often. It's just this weird like, and then it gets weird. So the demon touches Jacob on the thigh, right? And he's limping, and that's why I can't have a filet mignon, right? Mother, okay, because it's a part of the sciatic nerve, and you can have it, but it's going to be cut round it. It's a big donut. because of that very thing. And then he goes to the city called Sukkot and all the other thing. So the parable is that he's wrestling with himself. When he left his home, when he left his father's home, he was like this young, naive guy. Now he's coming back. He's got wives. He's got kids. He's got money. And now he's in a different place than well. And he's looking at himself, saying, "Who am I? Right? Who am I?" And that's a journey of self-questioning, self-discovery. So that's really what you're supposed to go through this time of year. It's leading up to the new year. You go, who am I, right? Who do I want to be, right? Because you're rebooting yourself. Who am I? Who do you want to be? So that's basically what I think they was talking about there. He was wrestling with himself, right? And then I think at the end of it, he acknowledged that he had taken a tumble, but it was a natural tumble and one you can live with, right? So that's really what I think is going on. Fine, let me get to the chat. So that's what's going on. Oh yeah. So on top of all that, my son, my older son, he's in the army. He's apparently got this high-level award, right? This high-level award. I'm like, really? What the hell? He's like one of the best officers ever. I'm like, oh, okay, he's a dick to me still. He's one of the best officers ever, right? So we can't go to, it's called a techers. We can't go to the ceremony, but it's on Zoom. That was going on right freaking now, okay? I wish it's going to be on Facebook. As soon as I go on Facebook, I've got to show you. You won't believe it. So there's this tradition in Israel. They're called gun parties. Like when your kid's 3 and he's in kindergarten, right? You go and they do a little show for you. And you think, if you're in America, if you're in England, it's going to be like a 10 minute. No, mother. Yeah, these things go on for an hour and a half, 2 hours, easy. My daughter's graduation from one school, 6 hours, I think 7 hours, right? I'm not excited. They think this is the biggest thing. Oh my God, these things are so. In that context, my son got a high-level award in the Israeli army, right? As really. These are the same people who did in Tebby, right? Okay, these are people that if you piss off, you're going to wake up one morning and find your testicles floating in a glass of water by your bed, right? These are those guys, right? Okay, so what do you think they're going to do? These hardened military specialists. There's a bunch. Okay, so it starts off. There's this a little movie. He's in the tank course, a movie about Cheerio, about the chunk, and all the. Everyone's sitting there going, yeah, okay, that's kind of fine. And then you get a bunch of people, quite attractive people of varying height. The little ones are in the middle, right? They do this High School Musical song thing. And they're not bad. They're not bad. They're not bad. But why? Why? And everyone is sitting in the crowd going, what's going on? Shouldn't we be I don't know, doing some covert, scary shit? No. We're looking at it was like the Eurovision Song Contest. It was bizarre. And they're sitting there in fake palm trees. It looks very nice outside. I will try and get a bit of the Facebook video about it. It's funny. Okay. And I got some really cool channel news that's coming up, which I want to fill you in on. Now, with that said, half an hour in. Bloody hell in. Is it half an hour? Yeah, half an hour in. Let's get to the chat. Liam Nielsen's chin here. I will find you and I will kill you. Hail, Zeelerberg. Yes, how are you? Pennsylvania. Oh, very nice. A hobbit from the Shire. Well, listen, we're very what's the word? Not cultural. We are multicultural. We're multi-continental, intercontinental. I don't know why, but one of the dirty magazines I was always fascinated with when I was a kid, in Double-8 Smith. No, it wasn't Double-8 Smith. It was whatever the corner shop was. I was looking up, I'm looking up. And I'm going to look at the porn because that's what you do. Looking up. And there's one called something Intercontinental. I'm like, really? Like, whoa. I don't know what's sexy about that, but that feels sexy. Intercontinentals, that's what we are tonight. Patricia Rodriguez, that particular shot of Jodie, not too unkind, but she looks, I know. I do. I didn't Photoshop it, but I did. I did unscrupulously use it. I did. I took her from a screen grab from the video I had of her laughing, and I go, there's so many faces that terrible. And then I photoshopped it onto her costume because, why? Okay, there we go. Problem being, how are you, sir? Problem being is going to be one of my guests, one of my many guests on my next podcast. My next podcast on Thursday night I'm going to be calling it the Thursday Night Zoo. The Thursday Night Zoo. Here is the concept for it. We're going to be shooting us live. We're shooting us live 2 game shows, 2 fun shows. And you're going to be the studio audience, okay? That's the plan. You're going to be interactive because we're going to call on you. So it's going to be really, really cool. We're going to have an improv show. We're doing the improv show first because one of the guests has to be out by 7. Okay, that's really what the improv show is called. The Comic Book Improv, right? And we're going to have 3 rounds. Round 1 from the audience, from you guys. You're going to suggest a genre. And you're going to suggest an age range, right? A genre and an age range. Genre, age range. And we, on the fly, are going to come up with a pitch to meet that, a comic book that we think meets that brief. And I hopefully things there. And I think maybe, hopefully you'll, I'm not sure who's going to be picking up the winner. I think it's going to be hosted. It's exciting. It's hosted by Noel, right? From Tardo. So it's going to be so cool, right? So that's round 1. Round two is you suggest an existing character, right? You suggest an existing character, and you can suggest where you want us to take off from, right? Like if I know where they take off from, I'll tell you, right? But if I don't know, I won't. Whatever. But an existing character, we've got to pitch you 12 months of that character. What we would do for the next 12 months, or whatever that character, and you pitch it right then, you get to hear it. Artists, by the way, comic skaters, artists, anybody who wants to do sketches live at the time, we will throw your sketches up for everybody to see. We're happy to do that. Anybody wants us to take some more time and do a more developed piece based on any of our pitches that may tickle you, we'll feature them in the week to come. And I think we'll if you want, we'll put them up for auction, or you can make merchandise from them. I think we can have fun with this. So that's round 2. Round 3 is you are to pitch a series set in somebody else's universe. You say you are in the Marvel universe, and maybe you can consider if you want to be street level, what kind of idea that you want. But yeah, so that's it. That's show number 1. Comic Book Improv. It's got me. Russ Leach is going to be in it. Faraz's going to be in it. And anybody else that can rope in. We're going to be doing it every week. And again, you are the audience. You're the audience. Then part 2 will be another game show. It'll be like a question of sport. It'll be what with sci-fi, with geeky stuff. I think that's basically what it says. Hosted by the Spacebook Stan Hadley, who's going to be coming on with me when I get through the chat, when I finish rabbiting on. Spacebook Stan Hadley, Birmingham's King of the Geeks. He will be hosting it, and Noel will be a team captain. Joining me on my team is going to be Problem Being. Noel, you're going to let us know who's going to be on your team. So the plan is we're all just going to get in. We're going to hang out. It's going to be the Thursday Night Zoo. We're going to film this thing. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. That's the plan. That's the plan for Thursday nights from now on. I think, Thursday early evening. So I think that sounds fun. Blue Planet, like Star Trek, Simpsons, Star Wars, I'll stick to watching. I haven't watched Simpsons for years. Dr. Dave, how are you? Andy Simon, 65. Lee Anthony Davis, Pop Culture Avenger. Hada! Avenging pop culture wherever he can. You won this fantastic prize. Lord of the Rings, 2 Towers. 2 Towers, the 4-disc special edition. The prize this week, by the way, is Judge Dredd Origins. Hey, great job. So here, what you got to do to win this, obviously, hit that subscribe button, baby. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to do it in a sexual manner, that's fine. I don't make judgments. Whatever floats your boat, baby. But however you want to hit that button, you hit that button, hit that subscribe button. And then you can enter any of my weekly competitions. This one is for Judge Dredd Origins. And I wonder who's calling up. That's junk mail. Judge Dredd Origins. It's a, what was I going to say? It's basically just its origins. He has to go on a mission into the cursed earth, into his very, very origins, and you do flashback into young cadet Dredd, young cadet Joe Dredd, and young cadet Rico Dredd. That's basis. So all you need to do to win it, subscribe to the channel, and in the notes in the comments, leave the hashtag Cadet Rico. Cadet Rico. There we go. I guess I got a fun project that I got coming up. Hopefully by about January with Russell Eats. I think that you guys will be excited about it. But we got, basically you're going to hear it grow. As I'll talk about it as we go tonight. So Bob Godwin, Kip Ellis, how you doing? Carolyn, how you doing? Julian S, how are you, sir? I remember. Oh yeah, you got the Benny stuff you wanted. Good. Okay. Jamie Tipton, I got to ask it. Are you related to the people who did the Doctor Who Star Trek crossover? Because I've been very unkind about it, but I really dislike it. So I really hope that's not you. But I don't know. I feel bad if it is you. But hopefully it's not. Because I like the issue. Okay, if I'm gonna be complimentary, I like the issue with Tom Baker with Kirk, the original Kirk and Spot, and the Cybermen. I like that. Yeah, the what they called again? Revenge Cybermen. I like Revenge Cybermen. Okay. We are. So how far are we? Oh, we are very behind. And we've got, how are you, Dr. Dave? Who else have we got? Parrothead, how are you, sir? You can always trust a man with a parrot head. That's what I say. You can trust a man with a parrot head. Emma Leanne Horsfall, are you the massive Jodie fan? So nice you to come. How are you? I think it will have nothing to. I think it will come to nothing, as they are going to get some interesting for the special. I hope, as I'm a joke. Okay, listen, look, Emma. I genuinely, I have no beef with you. And I just want to say, if you get as much pleasure as I got from Doctor Who, from this Doctor Who, you're in a great place. You are. Disaster area. How are you, Liam Nielsen? I will find you and I will kill you. You want money? I don't have that, but I'll tell you what I do have. A particular set of skills. Set of skills built up over many years. Skills that men in your situation will find a nightmare. Skills that will allow me to. I can't remember what it goes, but I will find you and I will kill you. Good luck. Okay. Tell you, he's lucky he had a multi-billionaire stepfather, right? That girl. Otherwise, she would have been raped relentlessly, if not for that, I think, by now. There we go. Oh, wow. Did it jump? I think it jumped. Yeah, it jumped. I thought, well, one second. There's D. How you doing, D? How you? That's very nice. Starry, I was just talking about you. I hope you were here for that. There we go. Man, just jumped massively. I think. Oh no, how you doing, mate? Fine, so good. Who you upset? I know. Oh man, I have been trolling them all day. It's so funny. Oh, Captain FN, how you doing? I can't say that. It's like the N word. I can't say it too. I mean, I can when I get animated, but it's something I gotta I gotta warm up to, Comic Mark, how you doing, mate? If you ever want to come in, you are more than welcome, sir. Well, Dan is coming in shortly. Fine. So I think, let me get Dan in. We go to invite. Copy the clipboard. Now, Dan was also streaming. Is he off yet? I don't know. No, Dan, there you go. Fine, link sent. Dan, the link has been sent. Contact has been made. Fine. So yeah, who else is coming on? I don't know. Okay, Comic Mark, if you can make it this time tomorrow night, you want to come on the improv show. I think the more people we get on it, the more fun it will be, right? And it's got to be a weekly thing, and I think it's got to be I would say quite a boozy thing. That's pretty that'll make it work quite well, I think. Fine, yeah. So anyway, so my son got that award, which was that was just bizarre because I missed most of it because I was in the middle of the street during the afternoon prayer and the evening prayer, Mincha and Mariv, right? So again, no synagogues. But we have this which I'm really kind of happy about because I'm pissed off about synagogue. What was it? Even though Doctor Who claimed to be before the 13th, I think she'll be good. I don't think it matters. Okay, I'm going to tell you my take on it. By the way, Lonnie Webb's got Lonnie, I'll get you soon, mate. Okay, I'll bring you on soon. Okay, you're coming on tonight. Okay, there's another thing I got to watch. I've got to watch a thing called Heroinberg, right? Which is like this YouTube series, and the guy who makes it wants to come on, and he makes a comic book. Well, I haven't watched it yet, so I can't give you my review. Obviously, I'm going to try and be as positive as possible because I love people making their own stuff in ingenuity. Just the aesthetics of it looks like cheap porn, not good porn, cheap porn, like really, it looks a bit, I don't know, but I guess you would get that when you get like superheroines. It's going to look very jiggly. I mean, what do you want out of it? But it does look very, I don't know. Although, did you see that thing on Twitter when somebody was comparing the TV version or something, or the movie version or something, to the porn version, and the porn version was like so accurate, and like the TV version was like, but I was like, and that was a whole thread. I wonder who shared that. I guess I shouldn't say. Fine. So my my take on this Dr. Ruth rumor. So where did it come from? It was Noel pointed it out. That, and it also got pointed out a few other ways as well. Fine. So the story was there was a new media company took over the Doctor Who official Facebook feed, right? That's the basic a new company took it over that was headed by BBC Studios. Now, I believe BBC Studios to be not as in sync with BBC Wales as the previous director. The current director, Tim Davie, was the head of BBC Studios. He was BBC Studios to a great extent. Doctor Who's massive success. It's owes a lot to him, so he knows very much on the inside, and he was the spearhead, as far as I understand it, behind Time Lord Victorious, which I think very obviously, like I mean, it's like ridiculous to argue anything else. It's very obvious because Jodie doesn't bring people in, it's like why are we even having this discussion? And again, Emma, if you love it, that's great. Let's get this on. I love Doctor Who in the 80s. When it was very unpopular. Colin Baker was and it was embarrassing, right? I knew what a megabyte modem was when Mel went, a megabyte modem? I knew what a megabyte modem was. I was a geeky kid. Yeah. That was not a good moment. I'll be frank. It was embarrassing. But I still loved it, I didn't need to pretend it was popular, because it's not popular. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. By every metric we judge the word popular and unpopular, it is unpopular. I don't know, it's not popular. I don't know what to tell you. God bless you, you love it. It's got listen, people love crap. I think it's the worst, most offensive garbage. It's like if a shit took a shit, right? That's what will come out. It's that bad. I find it just awful in every way, shape, and form. It just is, right? It's, oh my God, it's so bad. It's so breathtakingly bad. It's so exceeded my worst expectation, and it's like, it's so wow. It's so bad. It's awful. And it's like the antithesis of what Doctor Who is. Like, it's like a bumbling idiot who's not heroic. No, that's not. Why is that Doctor Who? That's not Doctor Who. Doctor Who shouldn't be a conformist, right? Doctor Who should be a bit of a rebel, right? Not this Doctor Who. Oh no, the freaking conformists, these kids who live on Twitter who can't conceive of a broken rule. Like, I realized with these kids on Twitter, they're like the milk monitors. Like, oh, you can't do that. That's nutty. And like, that's what they're like. Says who? Nerd. What the hell? God hell! Like, this one kid was arguing, listen, I didn't have a legally binding contract that I wouldn't lie my ass off. I'm like, yes, because human beings don't need a legal contract to say they will be basically honest with one another. It's a much better world. And he was like, whoa, the idea of being honest was beyond him. These kids are freaking insane. So that's who this doctor is, a massive conformist, right? So it's just terrible. I hate it. And I will take the piss out of it mercilessly. You know why? Because they give me a bit of bloody ammunition now, don't they? So anyway, so yeah, I hate it. I think I've been reasonably clear about that. And it's not popular. And it's not popular at all. Clear. So I believe the former Director General, what's his name, Lord Lovey. Oh God, upper class twits. Piers Wenger is the definition of an upper class twit. And there's never been a man more Piers Wenger. You know, like the world kind of needed an upper class twit, and they and they just said, oh yeah, and it spawned Piers Wenger. It was like, it's like Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing was spawned because there needed to be a plant elemental. You know, same thing. There needed to be an upper class twit, in management at BBC, and thus there was created Piers Wenger. Yeah, so he was. What's his name? Lord Lovey, or I can't remember his bloody name. Hang on a second. What was his guy's name? Anyway, so yes, so the old guy freaking loved this Doctor Who. Oh, for him it was awesome. It was the greatest Doctor Who ever. It didn't matter that everybody hated it. It didn't matter that people would rather jump into a burning building than watch it go passing by. People would rather have their face burnt off with acid than watch it. About 600,000 of them, chose, I will do anything else. I will do literally anything else other than watch this Doctor Who. I'll jump out a window. I'll have, I can, my go-to example is 600,000 people faced with the choice of, should I watch Doctor Who or should I have a fist put up my ass, right? A fist put up my ass. What? Given that choice, they took the fist up the arse. I mean, really? That's not popular. 600,000 of them? My God. Anyway, so it has really worked out well. So I imagine perhaps there could perhaps be a bit of a schism now. I don't think the happy team of the Director General and BBC World, now I don't think they have the same goals. I think BBC Studios guy, Tim Davey, understands the BBC's about to become a subscriber system, a subscriber model. He understands that. He also understands the subscriber base hates them. They hate them with a passion. Okay, do you know how much the British public hate the BBC? Do you remember when Napster happened and the record company started crying and how good it felt? Do you remember that? I remember that. I remember that. How those absolute chuzzers, right? Those absolute chuzzers. Finally, they're like, those troughs were full of our money. I'm going to take as much as I can. What? And that moment, it felt pretty good. Same way. Fine, okay, and they were. So hasn't worked out. Safe to say, has not worked out well. So maybe there's a bit of a schism between the two. The idiot conformists are like, no, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, one second. Dad did message me. Let me see what he said. 5 minutes. How long ago was that? I'll keep treading water. 1 second. Oh man. Now, okay, fine. I clicked off a tab. I clicked back on. So I think there's probably could well be a schism between the Director General and the current BBC world. So I think a way that could present itself. Listen, I think everybody has to acknowledge the need for Doctor Who to reboot. Everybody has to new face on it. She's been awful. She's been. I think the metrics on the metrics. Everybody recognize. I mean, if there's sanity in the world, there might not be. I don't know. They keep making Star Trek. They keep making Star Trek Discovery. There may not be sanity in the world, but I'm assuming there is because I'm a naive idiot. I'm just assuming there may be sanity in the world, and they go. It needs a bit of a reboot, right? It needs a bit of a reboot, and a way to reboot it in a way that doesn't completely look like you got egg all over your face, and also doesn't look like a way. You could keep Chibnall on. I mean, maybe keeping Chibnall on might work because he's probably got a contract really ironclad. It's probably saves him a lot of hassle keeping Chibnall on. Although he's done such a terrible job, maybe keep him on and keep somebody on it and put him on him to keep a leash on him, or maybe not. I know. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised as a new executive producer. That's very involved, I wouldn't be surprised at all. The red pen to put through. And don't can't stand Trump and they're racist. Oh yeah, whatever. Put a big red pen through that. Yeah. Now, so I can actually see. This is how I can see it working. Right? You just ignore everything you've done. Start out with Dr. Ruth in that TARDIS. That TARDIS, that's a good-looking TARDIS. In that TARDIS. Flying around, having fun. I mean, nothing. Don't mention Jodie. Nothing. Just have fun and event. No, and just individual stories if you want, or you can have whatever. That would reboot it, right? That could reboot it, and that actually could give it a chance to work. That could genuinely give it a chance to. So, why would I think that? Dr. Ruth is other than logic and reason, why would I think of Dr. Look, she's black, she's a woman. There's no elephant in the room there. She's she's a twofer. Is she trans? Is she lesbian? Can we go for the entire? We got what's the word? Progressive stack. Ta-da! Congratulations, you got the entire stack. Well done. Because fine, black and female, that's pretty good. Because she was certainly better than bloody Jodie was in. I did like they wrote a character who go, "Are you stupid? How believe how stupid she was?" And we're all like, "Yeah, you got yeah." So listen, it could work. A Paul Cornell script run season with Doctor Who that could freaking work. So the reason I think that this new company took over from BBC Studios. I believe perhaps there might have been a schism between BBC Studios, as I quite reasonably explained, between BBC Studios and BBC Wales. BBC Wales may have had control of it, and now BBC Studios has. So they therefore control the public message, and the mouth of the BBC. And actually, I don't know if it was unified before. I do not know. I think it was before Tim Davey arrived. I don't know if it still is. I think it's it's a reasonable question to ask. And if you shit yourself when I ask it, it's probably a good question, isn't it? If you shit yourself when I ask the question, it's probably a good question now, isn't it? Good. Fine. So we have that. So they came on, and then the first thing they did, they added a Dr. Ruth artist drawing, rendition, whatever you want to call it, into the montage of doctors. And quite interestingly, they put her in the 13th position. Now, it could be it's the 13th Doctor they've really introduced, It's that I can see. Or maybe they screwed up. Maybe they're like, it's the 13th, and this is what they're going to announce at Comic-Con. If they're not going to, they've got to announce something. They've got to announce that it's coming back. They got to announce either they're back filming or they're not back filming, or no, they can't announce they're not back filming. They're back filming or a return date, or she's leaving, or Dr. Ruth Adventures, or something like that. They've got to announce that. And you know what? If you want to do a season of Dr. Ruth Adventures, okay, I'll just write it for you, okay? Hey, you're welcome. I'll put it together for you. Pitch it on the you have the season finale with Jodie wrapping up her storyline, regenerating her, and then you're done. You're done. You save face, okay? She was in the full season, right? You can end it whatever you want. You have that as your, God forbid, a Christmas special. No, not a Christmas special. You don't want to mention those backward religions. Okay, where the hell was Daddy? It's 5 minutes. Hey, bloody hell, there he is. Let me put him in. There he goes. Mic's still off.
No, it isn't. Hello. What's
5
going
minutes? Bloody hell. I just explained the entire War and Peace.
on?
Oh, my God. I'm just going to get up to the Dominion War.
Oh, so what's going on in Rabbi land then? What's happening here?
Oh, well, right. Don't ask me to repeat it. So much insanity. Okay. I have to live in a hut outside my house. I have to get a palm frond and a lemon and a willow branches and what's it? Willow and myrtle branches. But I don't have to wear boxes on my head instead. And my son got an award which looked more like the for like this hardened military award. And the award ceremony, I kid you not, looked like a Butlins reject. It was the weirdest thing.
So, and this is something you're doing voluntarily?
Sorry?
This is something you're doing voluntarily?
No. This was my son. My son in the army got an award, some award for being the most anal soldier in the history of something. The least sexiest cheerio. I mean, oh God, this kid's gun. His gun is clean. Like he's so anal about everything. Everything's so clean. Anyway, so he got an award.
Wasn't that a song? Onward, Anal Soldiers.
No, that's. I think that's a porn movie.
It could be a movie. Oh God. Yes, I see the chat's lively as well. The troublemaker, starry-eyed girl they're talking about. It's been talking about Fist. I don't know what that is.
So I don't know if the story heard my summation of her, because I spoke about her saying, and this is before I knew what she was like, and now I can't repeat it. You have to go back and find it. It was very genuine. It was nice. It was all saying nice things. Don't worry.
Before you knew what she was. What's he saying, Sarah? What's he saying?
I'm saying no. Okay, when we were talking about the kid from Twitter, right? And I was saying, and that's before I knew. And I know she drove Sarah off Twitter, right, or whatever.
Gotcha.
Right. And that's before I knew that. Had I known who she okay, fine. This is what I remember. I basically like people. Okay, I like people. There are a few people I see as above me. Right, I view as superior to me. Not many, because I'm a massive egotist. I really am. I don't view many.
Keep that quiet, mate.
Sarah, being above me and everything. Okay, it's not just she's smart and like fun and has a great taste. Okay, all that is good stuff. Right, all that is fantastic stuff. I just appreciate a good put down. I do. I appreciate a good parry and thrust. And oh my God, I've seen her skewer people in my chat. Like effortlessly, like
pinpoint accuracy,
with a flick of the wrist, like with the minutest, expression of effort. So yes, that's has my
the Terminator, the Terminator of chat.
Yes, indeed. So anyway, so my basic premise about Dr. Ruth, I was getting up to was that. That might be a very good compromise move. Just do the Christmas special. The next episode, Dr. Ruth on her own in the TARDIS. We don't even know why. Who the hell cares? Completely reboot.
But I don't think the character was ever created with that in mind. But I tell you something, as a get out there that is just in your blind spot or on the hard shoulder. This would get them out of a lot of what, because
it really would, wouldn't they? Because they reboot and they'll see face.
In fact, have you mentioned this by any chance? I'll share this with you because I've just been talking about this over on the Spacebook. Have you drawn attention to this?
Yes, it's exactly that. As soon as they came in, BBC Studios added in this picture.
It's. I mean, the timing of that. I've just been talking about that on length. The pattern of change at the BBC at the moment, and the timing of this. This isn't just because they've got a pretty picture, and all the changes that are going on their social media accounts now. This is rippling down. This is change happening. This is the people who were there earlier on have heard me going about this. But yeah, it's a lovely painting, and I think it really captures Jo Martin and the kind of doctor that she could be in those eyes, because we haven't seen her be like this yet. But
I'm just thinking, you can even keep Paul Cornell on, put an exec producer in with a red pen, to route right through. Yeah, I don't like Trump. All right, just put a red pen for all that nonsense. They have to put exec producer in, have Paul Cornell as head writer. You look at it, and they just have nothing. Just start with no explanation. She's Dr. Ruth. You've got to go, and then season finale. Bring Jodie in, wrap her arc up, wrap the arc up, have her regenerate. You won. You won. At that point,
think so. I think as rescue operations go, and I hate to admit it, because Paul Cornell as a man, I suspect that he and I would have very little in common. But he's a great, great writer.
He's a fantastic writer.
He's one of the few people. He's one of the few people. He's one of the very few people who could turn it round out of this era and make something that was at least watchable and maybe even affecting it on a level that we recognise as being Doctor Who. So yeah, I completely agree.
I think if just have her come in that great time, have adventures. Don't make any point about anything. Just have a great adventure.
That would do.
And you've won. You've won at that point. You can even win half the fandom back. Just make it good. Stop being a dick.
And that way, the Jodie's Doctor, she could carry on having her little adventures. I'm sure Titan would carry on doing that in comics. They'd probably be happy banging
really? I can't believe friend. Oh my gosh! Oh, which reminds me.
Yes,
this you'll find interesting. This is a tentative idea that me and Russ Leach are planning on doing.
Yeah, the noble Russ Leach.
Hopefully, tentative idea. Just throwing it out to the chat. It's basically an imagined third Peter Cushing movie, graphic novel, based on I say. So I was trying to work out which one to do because then I wanted to do something in the feeling of the era, right? And so I thought Hammer Horror. We'll do one based on the Aztecs and call it like the Brides of Blood or the Aztecs Brides of Blood, and it'll be like have Ingrid Pitt or Kate O'Mara or even Twiggy, Twiggy as as the woman who falls into the TARDIS instead of Bernard Cribbins.
Yeah, think who would they cast? And Twiggy's it'd be great.
And then her character she's a tour guide, a prestigious, uptight tour guide in a museum. She falls into the TARDIS, and then that's why she can play the Barbara role, right? At that point, she can play Barbara, and also she learns to relax as well. That'll be the whole thing. We'll have an in the TARDIS that help bring herself out of herself. You have a romance, and you have Peter Cushing as a doctor.
I like it. You could have. You could sort of take the principle of using a character from the TV show, sort of reinvent them. You could put Stephen Taylor in there, and who would you cast somebody from the mid to late 60s, maybe maybe other pop stars. Yeah, be cool.
You see, I'd love to do a series of these. You can keep doing it. I can do the Demons with Edward Woodward as a doctor and Christopher Lee as a master. And it just works.
Oh God, you could carry on. You could carry on indefinitely, really, reimagining stories for the big screen, for a bigger canvas, and just throwing more sort of ingredients in there, and I suppose squashing them down to that sort of 90 minutes or equivalent in comics.
Right. Because I had so much fun watching the movie the other night.
The Invasion of Earth.
Yeah.
It's a great film. That is. I think if you showed that to pretty much anybody. Yeah,
the second one was way better than the first one. It's also way better than the TV version, and the TV version is brilliant. The TV version is absolutely brilliant. But
I go backwards and forwards on that. At the moment, I prefer the TV.
I mean, I like some of the casting better. I like Mr. Rumbold as the turncoat. Mr. Rumbold as the turncoat.
Yes,
always works for me.
Yeah, I love. I've always liked those films. It's funny, because I'm getting to the point now where I've always felt, as you do, that the second film is way better than the first. But the last time I watched the first film, I enjoyed it so much, probably more than I've ever enjoyed it before. They're just great. And the fact that they allegedly recorded that radio pilot and none of us can hear it, that it's lost to time. Good God.
Oh, I never heard about that.
Yeah, Peter Cushing recorded the pilot for the radio show.
Oh, man. And there's no script or anything? Big Finish can't recreate it?
Scripts. Someone's got
it. This
movie. The script has got to exist. It's got to be in a shoebox in somebody's loft. It's like the Sing Detective situation.
Right,
the script is there somewhere. Somebody will find it eventually. Somebody's bound to.
If they're lucky, like was it the thought letters? Did you ever see the Rusty Davis thing? A very British scandal.
The best thing on British TV that year, in my opinion, in 2018.
I didn't see else on British TV that year. Speaking of best things on TV, what were you up to with Raised by Wolves?
2 episodes in, absolutely brilliant. I love it.
It gets better. Okay, but it actually gets better.
It's awesome, absolutely awesome. And I've always liked sci-fi, but really hard sci-fi doesn't always work for me. It's got to have something else. But this really has a lot of human interest in there, proper intrigue. And although it feels tied to the Alien universe thematically and visually, it's its own thing too.
The more you get into it, the more it's its own universe.
Yeah, I really do like it, and I'm glad I jumped on it. This is quick by my standards. Everybody else maybe 5 or 6. Sorry, you finished it?
And the was it? There's something that happens at the end of the first episode. It just blows your mind. This insane thing happened after insane thing happens. You're like, what? Whoa, what?
And does that continue through all the episodes? Just mental shit going on.
It's more like an onion. You know, like the second episode, there's suddenly this incredible weird story you didn't know about this character, right? And you understand this character a lot more now. It's all about this one character, and it's that's actually going to be a main character in the story. There's like, but there's like you had no idea they'll be there. Okay, one second. Lonnie Webb is here. Let me put you on. Lonnie has Indiegogo.
Lonnie. Hi, Lonnie. We've been speaking. Lonnie and I have been speaking on Parler, and I wasn't sure who you were. It's great to put a face to the name, Lonnie. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. And hello, Rabbi, for the first time actually talking.
Hello. I'm sorry it's taking so long to get you on.
It's all right. You've got all this greatness going on. I can't complain.
So tell us about actually. Where's can you put the link in? Are you a moderator?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know what I am.
Okay, so just put the link in the chat in the private chat, and I'll put it into onto the chat.
Okay. So Destiny Mountain Demon went live yesterday, and surprise, surprise, some SJWs declared me Comicsgate and a.
Listen, that's a great market. That's a great market to get into. Don't just run to it. Like, oh no, I'm going to be part of the group that's making a lot of money in comics.
Well, that was kind of my perspective.
Okay, one second. Let me just.
The only people that had signed up. Yes, it's in the chat. Private chat.
Yeah, I'm putting it in the chat. So, and then I'm going to put it. I'm going to open up in a browser, and we can look it together. And you can tell me about this book.
Yeah. So it's a tale a lot like a Kolchak story from the X-Files day.
A pre-what story?
Pre-X-Files. I'm trying to think.
Kolchak. I understand what you're saying.
So this character is a similar reporter. He goes to this place.
I haven't seen the art stuff yet. I love the art. Is that character based on Ian McShane?
Not intentionally, but I'll take it.
I just haven't seen the art. I'm actually kind of excited to see it.
So the interior pages are black and white. There is some grayscaling going on, and I'm wanting it to ring to you, the reader, like an eerie or a creepy one of the Warren Publishing horror comics from way back. So you get to see this crime unfold, and then the question is posed, hey, is this demon going to show up? And then the story gets resolved in a very supernatural way.
All right. Okay, so I'm looking at your tiers are very inexpensive. You got $25. What do you get for the $25 one?
The $25 one is it says duo, but there will be 3 printed comics with the 3 different cover variants.
Excellent.
And
Okay.
there would be the digital version, plus I'm including a digital version.
A lot of people don't do digital.
Pardon?
So I'm saying a lot of people don't do digital. Okay, you got looking at all the so that's still $5 to get get your feet wet so you can check it out. That seems very very reasonable.
Not everybody.
Is this your first Kickstarter, Lonnie?
It's my first Indiegogo. I may have had an earlier one and just didn't do it right, and it didn't really go anywhere. But I spent some time and learned what I was doing, and I think I've done a little bit better on setting up this campaign than others in the past. No, I take it back. The previous ones have been all Kickstarter.
Right. I have to tell you, this is the tier to go for. The get the triple pack for $25, best value. That's what I'd recommend.
Yes, I need to update that wording so it's not a duo, it's a triplet?
A triplet? I don't know.
What do you call 3? I don't know. Menage de trois?
How many pages is it?
I'm not hearing you, Rabbi.
Wait, how many pages is it?
I believe it's 30.
Okay.
So it's not just a 22-page comic. It does have a painted cover on the front, and let's see. It is currently going to be a floppy, but I might perfect bind it if there's a lot of as a stretch goal. I might throw a perfect bind on it.
Okay. So okay, everybody go out, order 200 of the $25 level thing, and then you're going to be perfect bound. That's all you need to do.
That's all I need. Yeah.
All right, everybody go do that.
At 1,000, I'm going to color it.
Okay. You should hit 1,000. I reckon you'll hit 1,000 with this.
I would like to, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What's the goal?
The goal. Well, I set the goal real low so that I could survive it. I think it's $500 US.
Okay. So listen, you got to pop through that pretty quick.
With your support, mentioning it on your channel, I'm sure it'll happen overnight.
Okay. Okay. I just wouldn't put.
Do you want to talk Doctor Who a little bit?
Sorry.
Do you want to talk Doctor Who a little bit?
I'm just trying to think what there is to talk about Doctor Who. Did you see my? Well, I got this article I'm going to read next about Genesis of the Daleks. Have you ever seen Genesis of the Daleks?
It's one of my favorites.
So yeah, I had quite a lot of fun with my thumbnail. Fine, you know what? We're going to talk about a subject that always fascinates me. It's me.
Well, before you do that,
we're going to talk about the story of the thumbnail. Here we go.
Before you do that, yes. I got so fed up with the BBC that I started my own story. You, both of you already know about this.
Yeah.
Starry is aware of it, and it's intended to be a classic Doctor Who story minus the BBC. So there's no mention of Doctor Who. There's no time travel. However, there is a classic era Doctor Who character that the universe is built around.
Okay, well, give us a hint.
Actually, if I could come back in about a week, I'll share a link where everyone can go read it.
Okay. Are you publishing online?
I'm publishing online. I'm going to micro publish. First 2 chapters anybody can read, and I might paywall something tiny so that there's some kind of interest generated. I'll take advice. Definitely. Okay. I'm doing this Andy Weir style.
Okay, that's the way, you know. I am the big believer in if that's the only way to do anything. Just do something, and then that's the only way you're gonna get it done. Okay, let me just talk about this on there. You like Genesis of the Daleks?
I just read this.
I've always thought that the something definitive of the era that how this era has failed completely. I've always tried to imagine Jodie Whittaker trying to do that speech for Genesis of the Daleks with Tom Baker there. Have I the right? I can't. Here's why I can't imagine her doing it, because I can't imagine her understanding it. Right? I kind of like no. Yes, you do. You're Doctor Who. Doctor Who. It'd be awkward, Doctor Who. And I just wanted to put, because I want to put Dr. Ruth in the thumbnail, because we're going to be talking about her. But here's the thing I'm particularly proud of. The background took me a long time. That's a screen grab from Genesis of the Daleks, because I couldn't have a screen inaccurate Carlin bunker. That's how it took me a lot of work. It took me a lot of work not to. Is there I can show this? Yeah. See where my mouse is going over here now? All right, at the bottom right hand corner, you can just see Davros' hand. Right. It took me a lot of time, effort, not to talk myself into airbrushing that out.
I have some artistic advice. This is valuable artistic advice. Rabbi?
Yes.
Keep Jodie's hair, but replace her face with a ham sandwich.
Well, that's an interesting idea. I think
yes, it'll be a better character.
You know what? I think I had to find that. You know, that's a good challenge. I will have that for our Thursday show. Fine. Okay. I want to at some point, and I want to look at this other article. Lonnie, wish you best with your Indiegogo.
Thank you, and I'll be in touch about the other.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, come back, give us a link.
Yeah, very creative, man. I'm in awe of all that. It's fascinating. Kickstarters, Indiegogos, all this thing. Everybody's getting involved in it, getting on board with it.
Yeah, well, listen, it's the platform, and it's really good. It's really good news. I can't wait to get started. Right, I'm getting close. You know, I got to get. I got to get on John Malin's radar. You know, and,
that's it. Yeah, there's certain places that you've got to be.
Was it Ethan Van Skyvers? Like he's retweeted my cut up my tweets, and he knows my name. So that's good. So I think when I'm at the point where I can ask him. I want to wait till I get a couple of thousand subscribers. I think when I'm at the point when I can ask him, hopefully he'll have me on.
He seems supportive and receptive, and he's the guy out there pushing boundaries. And good God, I mean, what he's doing. He's
really like keeping the industry together.
In a strange way, he probably is. And at one time, that Comicsgate term was a dirty word.
They're so weird. These kids, these not kids. These people who work in the industry. You know, they're just like they'd rather like gripe and be mad than make money. They're like, of course, communists are going to be like angry about people making money. Right? It's like, of course, pro-communist. And I can't believe you'll put your multi-million dollar industry in the hands of pro-communists. Like, it's a strange thing. Yeah, I have to get to the chat. There's a bunch of people I see atting me.
They're talking about The Stranger and various other things like that.
Like The Stranger?
The Stranger. Colin Baker's The Stranger from the early 90s.
Oh yeah. Have you seen The Stranger? Yes, I have. I've been trying to get hold of it. Oh yeah, sure. Let's hit me up. I have them all on.
It was on YouTube. It was all up on YouTube for a while, but they may have taken it down now.
It had Colin Baker and Ace in it. Well, no, it wasn't Ace. It was Nicola Bryant.
Colin and Nicola, and Sophie was in one of them. I think she was in the third one.
Was she in it? I remember she was in the audios with Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah, she was in the third one. She played that sort of naturist.
With a populist, but holding a sheet over herself. They're kind of trying to be sexy, but it just really wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that she's not like attractive, but she's just. It was just weird. It felt like your sister. I was like, well, I don't understand what's going on.
So Sophie Aldred is not sexy.
Yeah,
that's the one thing she's not.
Yeah, I afraid so.
I like her, but she's not remotely sexy. Sorry, Soph.
Yeah, strangely enough. What's her name? Bonnie Langford is sections, and then
what a weird universe that is. But you're absolutely right.
It's very odd. Okay, one second. So going back for a long way, Colin Peterson said the problem is most normal people would consider good and anathema to woke idiots currently in charge. That is true. That's true. I don't know what you were saying at the time, but I can't argue with you. I can't argue with you because you're agreeing with me.
Bang on.
So clearly you're agreeing with the smart guy. Yeah, I think that's everybody in the chat. Fine, caught up with that. So next thing, let me open up this. Hopefully, I can't remember what site it was that caused my browser to explode one time. I guess we'll find out in a minute. I'll just
oh god.
Who? Is there any news that you know of?
Nothing, no actual Doctor Who news. But what I've got my eye on, as I was just explaining to the unfortunate people who are on my channel a moment ago, was the changes going on at the BBC. The fact that the social media accounts yesterday were
that's a big. I tell you, the
big deal.
The crazy people on Twitter. Let me show you.
50% of them didn't understand it. And the other 50% who did understand what was happening lost their minds because it's Doctor Who going commercial. And the more that Doctor Who goes commercial, the more money it will have to make, which will mean it'll have to actually go back to being good and watchable.
Well, again, I tell you, they get out free, the get out jail free clauses
right under their nose.
Here, one second, let me show you what I just found. Where was this? I think this is it. Yeah. So this is a Joe Martin says she's not the next Doctor. A major U-turn after fan backlash. The Sun. So I don't know what to say. Yeah? It doesn't seem like a reputable source, but let's have a look.
To be fair to them, they never really get. I would say Doctor Who, so they get very little wrong about. They get most of their sort of leads from us, but if they've got a quote from Joe Martin herself, that's
that's
isn't it?
Let me open the window.
Somebody there's trying to correct me about Ace there, noting the sort of sexy soldier outfit that she wore on a couple of the book covers.
Yeah, okay, that looked like kind of your mum getting into S&M. You know, it's this ooh.
I know she sold a lot of those glossy photos at conventions for a while, where they got her. I think they got her into the actual outfit. They had it made for her. You know, whatever works. Whatever works for you is fine by me. But no, she never quite. Never washed with me. Right. Even when you saw the stocking tops, it didn't do much for me.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just nailed it. Yeah. Actress Jo Martin has insisted she is not going to be the next Doctor Who. Jo made her debut in the last series after the long-running BBC show as an alternative version of the famous lead character who's been played by Jodie Whittaker for the past 2 seasons and become the first woman to take the role. Really? Who? I didn't notice. Really, I'm so glad they told me. I hadn't noticed that. Whittaker was stunned, stunning and brave. Whittaker was stunned as a new character, initially disguised as a Gloucester tour guide. Not disguised, literally being that person. Ruth Clayton claimed that she was one of her. No, she didn't say she was a past iteration. She just said she was the Doctor. And then nobody could remember each other. And then they said, "Oh, goodbye. Let's not try and work that out. Let's just go in that separate way.
Let's off.
Let's just forget that because we've got a really boring episode next week about quadrophils." Or was that the week? No, that I have to go because there's a guy with fingers falling off who's going to stick it in people's ears.
Oh,
yeah, and then I just got to go for the worst moment in Doctor Who, and I'll be back at the other worst moment. Right?
It was like a parade of mediocrity followed by ineptitude. Was this a 10-week sort of traipse through the ship? Yeah, yes, it should have said that in the write-up. Absolutely appalling. I don't know. You said something to me the other day about we were talking about Star Trek, and you said it was a bit of a trudge, and it was draining. And good God, just thinking about Series 12 of Doctor Who makes me want to go to the toilet. Quite frankly.
Wow, that's so there you go. If it's stopped up, there you go. Get out to Orphan 55. Yeah. We found a use for it. Despite the storyline being one of the biggest shocks in the program's recent history, some fans were not happy and raged at the unbearable political correctness of another female Time Lord. That's
not why we were upset. That's not why we were upset about this episode.
She was actually better than Jodie.
It's so disingenuous. Like the sexist again. Just 5 minutes with any actual fans. You don't have to agree with what the fans were saying, but don't misrepresent it. Nobody cares that she's another female Doctor.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we all rolled our eyes. We were like,
yeah.
Like, of course, it couldn't be anything else. And they were further angered when the news, when Showboss, I should not say new Showboss Christian were hinted that Martin might well be a replacement for the 37-year-old widow. Nobody complained. No one complained by saying.
And Chris Chibnall never hinted at that anyway. So this is full of absolute nonsense.
One of the dumbest things is they buried the TARDIS to give you like a big moment for no reason whatsoever, and then he couldn't work out how to get you in there. Right? It was like, the dumb thing. Like, this is going to dig and it's going to be like, the TARDIS. What could it be? And then you can't get in the TARDIS because he's an idiot.
It's because it's so. I mean, obviously, Doctor Who is a visual thing. It's got to look cool. It's got to give us those cool moments. But this is just totally superficial.
I tell you, Tim Davies
nonsense.
should hire Philip Hinchcliffe as executive producer. He'll get that red pen out.
No. You know what? I think get Philip Morris in. Get any Philip. Pull any Philip off the street. Get him in. Sincerely, I could think of that.
Morris would be wonderful. Again, the period of time that the good Lord creates our multiverse for the coming year. Our multiverse of possibilities of what is, what was, and what could be. Right, and so I hope that will be. I somehow gets control of Doctor Who. I don't care what you do with it. I just know it's going to be better than this, and I will be brilliant. Right? Yeah, it's like again, you turn Doctor Who into a talking butthole. It's no difference for me. Basically, this is a jumping off point. You could do anything with Doctor Who because nothing matters anymore. For me, it ended with
and sincerely, though, Rabbi, I can't think of anybody who would make a worse job of showrunning Doctor Who than Chris Chibnall. So from here, the only way is not.
I'm not sure you hear for viewer. He exceeded, like by a mile, my worst expectations. Like your worst expectations, like with it. It might be politically correct when they announced it. It might be, but it's it was just worse in ways you didn't even know it could be bad in. You're like, what?
Yes. I'm afraid.
I've never seen anybody fail. Like this has got to be
more spectacular.
This or Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, this.
It's because it's so. You know what it's
on
like?
every level. On
British.
every level. I mean, at least Kathleen Kennedy did manage. At least when she worked out, it wasn't working with one director. Even though this did happen 2 or 3 times, she had the good sense.
Management upon mismanagement. It was just like, I don't know what to do. Right? That was just that was credited with that. That was just insane mismanagement.
Chris Chibnall is still in. He doesn't. I don't think Chris Chibnall knows this has all turned to. I don't think he. I still don't think he knows.
I think he's like Arnold Rimmer, smiling as he's insulted. Like,
he knows we don't like it, and he knows that.
No, he knows the data. He knows the Time Lord victorious. He knows the sales data. He knows the viewing data. He knows better than any of us. I said earlier that the universe cried out that it needed an upper class twit to be in the management BBC, and that's how Piers Wenger was spawned. He is the epitome of upper class twit, isn't he?
Please don't swear in my company.
He's spending like $60,000 on flights and stuff.
Totally privileged. Lives on another planet.
Yeah.
I mean, the things that I've heard about that man that I can't even repeat on YouTube. Some of it is that potentially libelous. This man, he's not good news. And if people knew, if it got out the kind of character this man allegedly is, good. I mean, the story about the $6.5 grand plane flights enough, realistically, isn't it?
60 grand.
60.
Yes.
I heard it was 6.5. I don't know where the website is to go and search to potentially book a plane flight.
No, you don't go to a website. No. If you're paying 60 grand for a flight, you ask one of your slaves to go and do it for you.
Who was he with? Elon? Was it with
in your flesh?
Did he fly with Elon Musk on the old space thing? Was that what he was
up to? Listen. With a plane ticket that expensive, you get a human being that you've then branded on his back. That's your ticket, right?
But you can imagine him though, couldn't you, Piers Wenger, with his silly floppy hair and his silly floppy face. You can imagine him with his feet up on probably some poor air hostess, with his feet up on there, sipping away at champagne, reading some sort of pamphlet about, I don't know, some sex act or whatever they get.
Yes, socialist workers unite.
It was almost certainly something socialist or pornographic, or ideally both. So he'd been whiling away the flight doing that.
I've never considered socialist porn before. I'm not sure what it would be. Would everybody be like in grey? Would it be like just set in the 70s?
It would look a lot like John Hurt's 1984 movie.
That's so. Oh no.
Lots of beaver shots.
That's so not sexy. Especially the least sexy I've ever seen ever. The only sexy I've ever seen that actually made me want to vomit. And I've seen some terrible things. Okay, but for Doctor Who fans who have been wondering whether Martin, best known for roles in Hobby City and Top Boy, will take over from Whittaker as the 14th Doctor, it emerges that's not going to be the case. Well, she's not the 14th Doctor. She is a doctor. We don't know what doctor, but she's a doctor. The Star indirectly confirmed the news during interviews with Doctor Who magazine, where she spoke about how she explained to her friends that she was a doctor, not the new doctor. Right, okay. Well, this is old news.
I like how they call her the Star. Joe Martin's not a star. No, hands up, anybody who'd heard of Joe Martin at Christmas or New Year.
I still haven't heard of Joe Martin.
I'll put my hands down on that. Yeah. It's not even worth not putting them up. Down. Nobody had a clue who this woman is, and the average viewer still has no idea who Joe Martin is.
I mean, again, Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker, the entire crew. I think, with the possible exception of was it Bradley Walsh? They're just soap actors. Actually, you know what? I think Tosin Cole might if he's able to have a role, I would imagine he would be able to have some screen presence, you know. But it's just soap actors. They're all strike me as being very soapy, and so she's like perfect for that.
Yes, and even though I've stood up for Mandip Gill in the past, saying how she's really, really hungry to do stuff, what she's capable of doing, I think, isn't necessarily worth watching.
She's so dumb. I can see why her and Jodie Whittaker get on. She's so. I mean, her Twitter feed. It's like.
Can you imagine, Rabbi, what it's like? Can you imagine what it's like in the canteen when they're having lunch together?
Oh God! I mean, I would want to hear it. But I wouldn't. It's like
I imagine.
And you don't
want to. One of them has got, those tomato sauce dispensers that are shaped like a tomato. I imagine one of them's playing with that, pretending it's a spaceship or something, and the other one's got the brown sauce, and they're shooting with that, and that's pretty much how every lunch break goes.
Well, I mean, cute sci-fi. No, you're not.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, not everyone saw the episode when it went out, but suddenly they all saw the publicity, and it blew up around it. It didn't blow up; nobody really cared, and the papers saw it, and then on social media. Nobody's really cared. I mean, if you want, you could do something with it, but nobody cares. It meant that they didn't get to see the reveal firsthand, which for me was the best part. They were like, "You're the new Doctor, okay?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not the new Doctor. I'm a doctor. You'll have to watch the episode. Okay, this is nothing. This is not news at all. How much longer does this go on for?
Yeah,
About
I think the general
2 paragraphs. I got to look at Jodie's face. Not happy about it. But
Isn't they think writing on websites and in newspapers now is worse than ever?
Yeah, I know.
It's impossible to actually read. You can't read it out loud. It's that bad.
The only way you can make anything out of any like commercial creative art is by being your own boss, right? I mean, what's it? Andrew Neil from BBC.
Andrew, God, he's gone over to this new news channel.
And you know what? You can I mean, I would trust his news service.
So would I.
It'd be the first news service I would listen to forever.
I used to trust the BBC until a few years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I do, but then they're bad about Israel. But then the Palestinians say they're bad about Israel. So both sides say they're bad about Israel, which I don't know. But we both really believe it, right? We both. I genuinely believe they're bad about Israel. But then the Arabs say they're bad about Israel. So I don't know. We can't both be wrong and both be right.
That's true. That's absolutely true. There's a lot. There is support there for.
Sorry, I don't be whispering. Master of Blaze has upset fans on Twitter. Jo Martin in her 5 Minutes Doctor was more believable than Jodie in 2 seasons. Jodie didn't bother researching her role, Whittaker. That's interesting. I
like that the Sun have taken something that so many of us have said and have put it in a mainstream website mainstream news outlet like that. For all that I've got no love for the Sun particularly, but it's good that they took one of the comments and put it there in the body of this general. It's a fluffy bit of nonsense, but the fact that that's there, I like that they've done that because that's accurate. We did all say that.
Some are still praying that she might come back to replace Whittaker at a later date. Not praying. I just think honestly, I can see that being their best move right now. Yeah. One fan wrote it shows what an utterly amazing actor Jo Martin is in maybe 5 lines. She was the Doctor. She was bloody better. She bloody better be Doctor number 14, please. It's not she was so much better, but like Jodie Whittaker's so bad. I think maybe she could do it, but like I'm comparing it. I mean, listen, I think early in this episode, I described the current era as if a shit had a shit. That's how bad it is, right? It's like the worst excellent you could possibly imagine. That's how bad it is. So fine. So it's not really fair complaining. And like, oh god, she's so awful. She's just so. Oh hi, I was raised trans. Ooh, I feel a bit socially awkward. You weren't raised trans. Look at you. If you're a guy, I don't believe you.
She just says whatever. Somebody pointed out to me a few days ago. It was Darren Bradley. He's got a great memory. I mean, he's got an encyclopedia like mine, Darren Bradley. Anyway, hello, Darren, if you're out there. And he dragged up a quote from her from. It couldn't have been a year ago where she said the exact bloody opposite when it suited her. This woman has got a goldfish of a woman.
It's that she's truly a moron.
I believe so.
Dumb. That's what I believe. And listen,
definitely,
Jodie, darling, you want to come on the show? You have a right to reply. Oh God, I would love to interview you. I would love to interview Jodie. You know, my first question will be, So, Jodie, how do you think it's going?
Oh, God.
I just got to know. Wouldn't you want to know what she thinks is happening?
I'd love to hear what they actually genuinely say behind closed doors.
You could win me over so easily.
I suspect that she can't wait to get out of this role now after 3.5 years.
I don't know. They seem to be holding on to it pretty, resolutely, right?
She looks like she's done to me when we look.
She looked like she was done to me before, but like, it's like.
I'll tell you something. That New York Comic Con, that panel on the 8th.
Project Discovery. I can't. Why?
Say it again, mate. Say it again. What was that? Sorry.
I still can't believe they're making Star Trek Discovery.
They're not. That they haven't started filming. That we talked about on
season
Warp Drive
3.
the other day.
I can't believe they made season 3.
Oh, yeah, because I think a great many of us can't. But at least with that, you can tell it's a complete do-over. It's effectively a relaunch. But there was a whole thing on Twitter over the weekend that season 4 had started filming. It hasn't. There were doctored photographs put up by people on the other side of the aisle. Star Trek Discovery hasn't started season.
They're so freaking weird. These kids. They're so weird.
I've seen the proof as well.
Why?
The
do you
idea...
want to see how Screen Rant doesn't understand Genesis of the Daleks?
Oh God, not them again!
I was going to do a video. I said, "Nah, I'll save this for a stream. I'll save this."
Is this on the regular? Pretty much every day, they're proving how little they understand this show. It doesn't matter whether it's the classic or the new show. They don't get any of it.
1 second. Let's have a look at it. This is this morning, right? Okay. This last thing I saw.
Yes.
And then they got Clara 5 best and worst. Now leave that.
Best and worst outfits.
Forget that. Doctor Who, the real origin of the Doctor's timey-wimey catchphrase.
Okay.
It says seems really why. The Seventh Doctor borrowed a trick from a DC supervillain.
Is it always this Thomas Bacon? Is it always this Thomas Bacon who writes them all?
Yeah. He must be paying him for. I bet we're doing him good by keep talking about them.
All right, Tomo.
Doctor Who reveals origins of death in its universe. I might read that because I still don't know what the Time of Victorious is about. After buying two purchases in,
I suspect those novels are the only things that are going to make any sense at all.
Yeah, I think so. They just
anything
came
else,
out.
Nonsense.
Fine. Doctor Who, Genesis of the Daleks was the Doctor's greatest mistake. To have the right. Yeah, no, that question was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. That's something that made Doctor Who something different.
Yes.
I think it's probably one of the greatest. Just like the I'm a bit socially awkward was one of the worst moments in Doctor Who. By the right, one of the greatest moments. They're the
polar opposites. Yeah, there should be a sliding scale. Yeah.
Genesis of the Daleks saw the Fourth Doctor wrestle with the question of whether genocide was justified. He should have really just killed the Daleks. Yes, because you're a moron, Thomas Bacon. Yes, you don't understand moral ambiguity. You don't understand reality. Oh God, could you? You are Jodie Whittaker. You are.
I would say the 13th Doctor. The 13th Doctor would just do that.
Yeah. I got the right. God, I hate that. Genesis. I feel so chuffing great about myself. Can everybody tell me how good I am now? Oh, we're so good, Doctor. Genesis of the Daleks is still generally viewed as one of the best Doctor Who stories of all time for good reason. But in reality, it's the Doctor's biggest mistake. In 1974, Dalek creator Terry Nation was asked to write the definitive origin of the Dalek. That's not how it happened. Okay. Here's the genesis of Genesis of the Dalek.
Totally different story behind that.
Yeah, he wrote he was commissioned for a story, right? And then Barry Letts had him in because he was still kind of in charge at the time with Philip Hinchcliffe. And said, "This is a very nice story. We liked it, but we liked it the first time we bought it and the second time, and indeed the third time. I don't think we can buy this again. How about you go off to do this? Why don't you do the Genesis of the Daleks? Okay." And that he basically fed the title with, "Yeah, okay then." And he wrote. Robert Holmes came back and rewrote it. I so wish I lived in a parallel universe where Hinchcliffe and Holmes was given a budget to do an adult drama after Doctor Who, like a 6-part, just creepy story. Anything you want, science fiction, horror, anything you want. No limits other than TV.
Because at that point, they were the most exciting partnership on British TV.
Right. Yeah. That was only Mr. Trick for that.
Both of them at the height of their powers. Both of them hungry. Good God.
And I would love to see what Robert Holmes would have done. Okay, so a year later, and it initially proved controversial with campaigner Mary Whitehouse complaining it was just tea time brutality for tots. That's why we loved it, darling. That's why we loved it. Her opinion was overruled by the majority of viewers. However, who thought it was whoever thought it was tremendous. Over the years, Genesis Daleks is seen as a cult classic. And polls Doctor Who, blah, blah, blah. What the hell? Get to your starting point, man. God.
Oh, I've just had an idea for us for a 13th Doctor story.
Yes.
Right. So in the spirit of Rosa, the episode would be I'd write it obviously with probably with Mallory Blackman. It would just be called Mary, and Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor would travel back in time to the 1970s, where she would meet Mary Whitehouse, and they would both.
Crusade.
Yeah, she would join the crusade, and they would decide between the pair of them that yes, Doctor Who should be cancelled.
Right.
And
in the future, I'll make it happen.
That's it. She would do what they did with Vincent van Gogh. She would take Mary Whitehouse and bring her into the future and show her the future.
Show the future. And I think Mary Whitehouse would very much be with the Twitterati on this one.
She definitely would, yeah.
He certainly used the same tactics. Okay, the plot was a simple enough one, though. The Time Lords foresaw a day where the Daleks would be a threat to all life in the universe, even themselves, and they recruited the Doctor to rewrite history and avert their creation. Yes, we all know this is the beginning of the Time War. I want to try, but we don't really know. There could be more going on. By the way, here, the the War Master set, the Anti-Genesis, freaking awesome. That's the Derek Jacobi's master travels back.
Is that out now?
Oh, he's in the bunker with Nyder and Davros.
Oh,
it's really cool. He gets there a few years earlier.
Oh, so it's like a direct prequel, but isn't
it's intervention. He goes to the genesis of the Daleks.
Oh God, I love that idea. Have you
called Anti-Genesis? Really good. Yeah.
I'll definitely get that.
Rather than I'll come back to this maybe if I can force myself. Yeah, I'm halfway through listening to the latest War Doctor story. Not bad so far, I have to say, not bad. Here, 1 second. Go collections. Where's this one? Audiobooks.
I thought I saw that Mark Gatiss was in it. I was wondering if he was playing other Universe Master or something.
A different series. The War Doctor. What show was the Doctor? War Master. There you go. Yeah. So it's look at the cut. Yeah. So Mark Gatiss is in it as an alternative universe master.
Yeah.
And also it's this guy's a Time Lord. But yeah, they just seamlessly go back to Genesis of the Daleks.
Okay, I think this is going to be the next thing I listen to then. Yeah,
it's really good. It's really, really good.
I love that one in Susan's War where they go back to Remembrance. They revisit that time period. Goes back to
this is similar.
Yeah.
So Nick Briggs is sorry. Here, let's see what's new.
Nick Briggs and Alan Barnes have wrote this. Oh, this is going to be
So I'm one episode here. I'm one episode into this new adventure of Bernie Summerfield. That here. I'll click on this down here. One episode into this so far. It's pretty good. So David Warner plays an alternate Doctor, and he's been with Bernie Summerfield for quite some while. So this is interesting. They haven't got there yet, but they go to Gallifrey in this one, and this series has much more a feeling of Bernie Summerfield than Doctor Who, right? I mean, they're equal players in it, but this feels like a classic Bernie Summerfield adventure rather than anything else.
I've never heard any of her audio stories.
Oh, they're all good. In fact,
I've always stayed away from them, not deliberately, just prioritizing stuff, and they look better than ever.
Listen, I did a video on the first 6 seasons, which are on sale now. So I listened to that one. This was awful. This is the worst release they've ever.
That's the one you were telling me about, wasn't it?
It was just absolutely awful. It was this crappy design alien monster was from The Good Story.
I saw an interview with the girl who wrote Displaced, and
that was a slightly better one.
She was not the sharpest of.
Boy, the other one was just terrible. This I would like to listen to, but I haven't got yet. So, but that was, and then this is what I'm listening to right now. I'm 2 episodes in. It's One of the Paul McGann Time War, so it's early Time War. But they have an interesting two-parter because I forgot the set before this. Yeah, I'll go backwards. The set before this, the only thing I really remember about it is being annoyed by it. I'll tell you why. Is this the one? Yeah. This the only one I really think because it's supposed to have the Valiard in it, right? The War Valiard.
Yes.
That's freaking awesome. What a great idea, right?
I haven't heard any of these yet either. Any of the McGann Time War stuff. I'm still sort of with his. What was the last one I listened to? It was a series before the Doom. Is it the Doom Coalition?
Right. No, that's in a different strand. Time War's in its own strand.
So I do get confused with this running at the same time as now Stranded. That's it, because Stranded takes over from Doom Coalition, doesn't it?
Main strand. So so the thing that annoyed me about this was Michael Jason's always brilliant, but they only had him in the last story. This should have been the Eighth Doctor versus Valiard. That should have been the center of it, and the Valiard was a time agent against the Dark. Yeah, that should have been what the story was. It just wasn't. I was annoyed by it, so I forgot it ended. With the Time War essentially being ended by the Valiard somehow. I can't remember how, because I just don't remember that anything. I was just annoyed by it. So so the first two episodes is called Palindrome, and you can apparently play them in any order. And it's about this circular story about how Davros is brought back to reality, and the Time War and the Daleks are regenerated. It's quite clever.
Oh, it's worth it then, because normally things with a concept like that, sometimes they bite off more than they can chew, don't they?
Let's go back, see what else there is this month.
Like the sound of it. God, that Davros series is absolutely brilliant.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
Anybody who hasn't heard that, that's one of the best things they've ever done.
This is a must-have. Okay, freaking brilliant. How many does it have? The full? And it's got the Davros mission as well. Yeah. Okay. Fine. This is freaking brilliant. It's basically I Claudius with Davros.
For all the people who say to me, and I was talking to Charlotte earlier on, Charlotte Shields, if she's back, I was talking to her, and lots of people say there's so much Big Finish. Where do you start? And there is a lot of it, and I know it's not all brilliant, but this is absolutely astonishing.
Yeah, it's great. So listen, if you're confused where to start with Big Finish, go check out my channel. I've just look up Big Finish on my channel, search it. I have Big Finish guides for newbies, right? And they're broken down into all different things. There's Big Finish on a budget, which is really the best way to start. This is on a budget, so this is very, very worth it. Yeah, this is.
I love that they do this.
It's stunning. It's just like stunningly well written. It's was it? What's his name? Plays Davros.
Terry Malloy.
Terry Malloy is Davros for his life. First one is with young Davros, and that really does feel very I Claudius, But then, I think the second one you have like young Davros, and you have his accident, and you see, and the last part takes place like six months before Genesis, right? So you see this like growing like fascist paranoia. It's just fantastic.
It's something like that done live action. Something they could make something like that, and it would restore that. Something like that on TV would restore more to Doctor Who than another season of Jodie's Doctor Who.
Yeah, listen, if they animated that, which they could, that would actually get a decent mainstream audience. This I just got, but I haven't even got a chance to listen to it yet.
Callan,
Volume 2, Volume 1, freaking awesome.
Who's writing these, mate?
What?
Who's writing them? Are they reworked the original scripts? Are they completely fresh scripts?
The guy who wrote Callan also wrote a bunch of short stories for the Observer, right? So they dramatized 8 of those. And Frank Skinner's in it as Lonely. He's just really, really good. I can't remember who plays Callan, but listen, it's not Edward Woodward.
It's Ben Miles from what's it? Coupling?
Sorry?
Ben Miles, he was in Coupling, wasn't
he? Ben Miles, it's good, and it feels right. It feels like Callan. And Callan is one of my favorite TV shows of all time.
I've not seen much. I've not seen very much of it. I've got a few episodes upstairs on DVD. On DVD, but I think I don't know how I've even come by them. They're sort of rips off this, that, and the other. I know the box set sometimes is really, really cheap, so I'll have to get it and watch them all.
Callan is so ahead of its time. right?
Oh,
If they
okay.
made it today, you really wouldn't have to change much. And yeah, I remember the first episode I saw was about. It was just about them harassing this family into submission. Yeah, they're doing that was their job, just doing like the dirty jobs.
Yeah.
Like they like put something on the car that would burst the windscreen, and just like keep this stuff like that to mess with
Just
them.
turn the screw on them. Yeah.
Yeah, like to keep on. But
I think the first time I ever saw it, there was an episode. I don't know if you were in the UK at that point. There was a whole thing that was done on Channel 4, and I think it was around 1991, 92, called TV Heaven. And each week, Saturday evening was called TV Heaven from about 9 o'clock through to 1 in the morning. And it was hosted by Frank Muir. And each week of the 12 was a year. And they just did an entire night's worth of programming from that year. And Callan, it might have been the pilot, actually. Magnum for Schneider. Is that the title of the first episode?
Good episode.
That was the first time I ever saw it, and I think I've seen like 2 or 3 others. Is there a film as well, or some sort of reunion thing?
Yeah. No, there is the one they did in the 80s where they came back, and it wasn't great. There's like a one-off one. That's probably one of the weakest ones. But Russell Hunter is just fantastic. And so Russell Hunter is was it Commander Ivanos from Pyramids of Mars, right?
Yeah.
He's he's very loud, gregarious, very powerful role. That's a polar opposite to Lonely. Lonely was like this, and they had such a great,
rapport.
Yeah, so these are great. Yeah, this whole thing is that one's really great. By the way,
I know this is a bit of a tangent, but how do you rate? Because I've never seen Public Eye. Is that as good as well?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. Because that's the one that people love that too. Yeah, okay.
And this one I got because it had Jake Dubman doing the Ninth Doctor, and it was before the Ninth Doctor was Eccleston was.
Yeah, how pissed off would you be if you'd written that and had it performed by Jacob Dubman, and then the following year they get Chris Eccleston?
Listen to
sorry, Jake. I like what you do, but you're not Christopher Eccleston, are you, mate?
Well, yeah, listen, I can't tell him apart from Matt Smith.
No, Matt Smith is absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
A man in a black leather jacket fled from heavily armed security officers.
Okay, we know what Jake Dubman sounds like.
We what? Tell me, Dr. Bryce, what sort of science did you intend to conduct with a bomb that wipes out planets? What's best practice for the study of a weapon meant for genocide?
Yeah, not bad.
I've heard worse. He's better than I could do. Let's put it that way.
Then was it Nick Briggs' take on him, which doesn't really work for me. And I always rush to be complimentary to him. So this Dracula's War, I wish I had time to listen to. It's one of the few things I haven't got.
There's 3 of those. They've done 3 box sets. Dracula.
Right. Let's see what's coming next one. Patnos the Gang is something I never bought. So they just kind of annoyed me in the Matt Smith era. So I was like, well, why would I buy more of that? And they were going all that feminist stuff was going on.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear them, but it's sort of on the back burner for me. There's always something I want to hear more. I don't know why. I do. I love them all, to be honest. I mean, they seem very nice people, all 3 of them. But yeah, there's just always something I prefer to listen to.
So this story is, I'm less excited about it now I know what it is. It's 4 individual stories somehow tied into the Time War somehow.
I didn't get this. I don't know if you've heard the latest Type 40 podcast that they made, number 65, everybody. We had Kenny Smith from Big Finish was my guest, and he explained, because I didn't understand it either. So he had to explain it in minute detail what this actually was and why. And I like the idea. I still don't really understand why they're putting the 5th Doctor in the Time War, if I'm brutally honest.
Yeah,
I'm a 5th Doctor fan.
Against it, but if you're going to put him in Time War, why not put him in like a regular story? Why is it these 4 individual stories? Like, it's just confusing. I'm easily confused.
No one's easier confused than me. But I sort of understand it now. I'm still thinking why, but I'm open. I'm completely open to it. It's I like the idea. I like the half hours when they do those little collections of stories, short stories all in one box. I like
do,
that.
but most of them are good. But I'm like, It's it just seems it's like there's too many the gimmicks. You have a first gimmick that he's in the Time War. The second gimmick is individual. I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Tell me a bloody story, okay? Stop trying to impress me. Tell me a story.
Yeah. Fair enough. I'm still pretty hyped up for the Dalek Universe thing with DT. And,
No, I think that's going to be good. I think this will be good. The thing we're looking at right now. This is a War Master. War Master, freaking awesome, absolutely awesome. And they're basically doing Apocalypse Now. So I'm like, okay, I'm up for that. I wonder
that guy in the middle. He was in Sarah Jane Adventures, wasn't he? I can't remember the actor's name. He's really good. I just can't remember his name at all.
Is it? Hope it's Colin McFarlane because I can pronounce that. I hope it's not Luyanda Unati Lewis Nual.
I suppose it must be Colin McFarlane.
Why can't you go for a Hollywood name? Okay, this is what you go. Okay, you use your middle name. In this case, I would go for Lewis somehow. Middle name and the street that you grew up on, right? So I would be Scott Barnett. Yeah, Scott Barnett sounds like a movie star. Svila Beckett.
Yeah, it does actually.
Okay, so then you got these Time Lord Victorious ones, which I pre-ordered. I regret this. I think this is not going to be very good.
Yes, the writers. You said to me week one, let's wait and see what the writers are going to be, and I got a little bit carried away. I've pre-ordered these as well. I got a little bit carried away with enthusiasm. I like Paul McGann's blue coat. Is that?
Yeah,
I like that. I like the artwork on all of these.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, listen, this one I would have got either way because he's got John Colsher in it doing the Master, and Simon Gurrier writes one, so I can have a vague hope it's going to be okay.
Yeah. Yes. Let's not. Let's just mention the nice stuff about this one.
Other than that, I would have. That's a regret purchase. Fire was going up, but here I'm going to give you a recommendation. If anybody just wants to listen to in the background, this is one that doesn't get any love from anyone.
He always says never trust a rabbi, but I trust your referrals more than most of them.
Well, see, listen, I know what's going on the inside.
I bet you do.
I enjoyed that as well. A lot of people didn't. I thought it was.
Which one?
The Prisoner. That's not the thing I was about to recommend.
Yeah, I know.
1 second.
Do you do the Anderson stuff? You've heard the Terrorhawks that they've done.
Oh yeah, Terrorhawks. I got when they did those on the what's it called again? On sale.
It's late. It's very late for the Rebel.
On a sale. Where is that thing I'm looking for? I can't see now. I can't remember the name for it. I can look up the actor. Originals, no. Classics could be on classics, I guess. Yeah, I bet it's in classics. Okay, they've done quite a few good things in Big Finish classics.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of the early ones. I haven't gone with them for a long time though.
Okay, how do I look? Just show me the bloody releases. What's wrong with you?
Every time they update their website, they change it. It's that little bit worse, isn't it? If you notice that.
Okay, let's try this one. Collections. I don't even know if I'm looking at the right thing. Really? How is what? This is a bunch of stuff. How's that a classic collection? Award winners, really? Okay, fine. No, let's try again. Okay, I'm a bit optimistic. Fine. I think you make it so hard for me to show for you. This is the one. Fine, and you can get a free one of these as well. This is like just books on tape read by Dan Starkey. I guess there's another guy called Joseph Kilsker. They're nothing showy at all, but there's a lot of them. And yeah, I was always interested to hear the Karnacki stories. And what's his name? Yeah, really nails it. Dan Starkey. It's got that like 1930s like Jeeves and Wooster kind of sensibility to it.
Yeah.
and it's a really
I
good.
think I remember him talking about this when it first came out. I mean, I think Dan Stark is a really interesting man, really creative man, always enthusiastic. But no, I haven't heard this. I heard Tom Baker's Treasure Island. I like that.
Pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty. Here, one second. I'm going to show you this thing. It's a free one. You get a whole free story. And so, listen, if you just want an hour story to listen to, it's free. Take it. It's pretty darn good. You know, it's.
I'll try that. Yeah.
I think the price is right.
You can't go wrong, can you? No, I try to. I've always loved audio drama anyway, so I do try and listen to as many different sort of things as I possibly can. That Invisible Man with John Hurt, I think that looks good.
In fact, this whole season was good. They did an H.G. Wells season. So you had John Hurt and Invisible Man, and then they spun that off into Sherlock Holmes, and that actually kind of worked. I was surprised. First Men on the Moon with Nigel Planer, also very good. All these are good. Shape of Things to Come. Island Dr. Moreau. Did not listen to Hamlet. Time Machine was pretty good. Was it Ben Miller again? King Lear I missed. Dalek, was it this is War of the Worlds. Here, I'm gonna end. We're gonna end on this if I can find it for you.
Did Nick Briggs write their Martian Invasion one? Because I know he's like
yeah. I'm gonna show you the better one.
Oh, you've told me about this before. I never looked it up.
Yeah, I'll put it up for you. Assuming the website's still extinct, it's still there. There you go. Something's happening. War of the Worlds. And it took me it was about a year behind, but it was still pretty good. I have to say, it was it felt like like Big Finish did a Hound of the Baskervilles, right?
Yeah.
And it felt like a very authentic one. This felt very, very authentic. Yeah, War of the Worlds, Coming of the Martians. It's basically like the Big Finish crew.
Oh God, it is as well.
Lisa Bauman directs. Dan Stark is in it. It's the Big Finish crew. They have Colin Morgan, who from Merlin stars in it. This is a nice antidote to the TV version.
Oh, it still sends a shiver up my spine. That does.
So let's see how much they're charging for it. Go to the store. And I will tell you, if it's probably worth it. It's because it was pretty good. Their website's too slow though. So much
Sherwood Sound. Yeah, I've never heard of this company before.
Yeah. This is about the only thing they've done. So yeah, this one £15. You get 2 CDs. Oh no, this one you get it on DVD, but you get it on download as well. So that's really the main thing. This one is the nicest looking one. You can't get a book with it.
Oh, yeah, 60 sheets. You get a lot with it. Yeah.
Let me see. Does this come with the download? As long as it comes with the download, this is worth it.
Even though I love physical media, I mean the audio stuff, that's had to be the one for me where I've had to sort of scale back the physical media, because I would literally have a spare room full of stuff by now.
And yeah, listen, for me, living in Israel, digital media is the way to go. How long ago did you send those things to me? Right,
a week and a bit.
Yeah, so I got a good week and a bit to go, and we're kind of in lockdown, so it's going to be at least. So yeah, that's why I'm hoping at one point you get a Blu-ray drive. If you get a Blu-ray drive, you can rip them yourself. You keep the originals. I'll take the file.
I'm upgrading my kit here. I know we're doing a lot of shop talk here in front of these wonderful people, but I am going to add a Blu-ray drive to my list, because I've got that many things to pick up, and they are pretty cheap.
It's worth it. And you do end up just backing everything up and moving to digital more.
Well, I know that you operate. You've got a server and various things like that, and that's really what I suppose a lot more people are going to get into. Somebody on Twitter was saying, actually, they weren't saying it to me. I butted in on their conversation, but somebody on Twitter was saying how, although they were talking to Kenny, funny enough, and they were saying how they just got and bought a SIM card or an SD card, sorry, that they put in their phone. And it was so big that on this SIM card, they were able to fit everything that Big Finish had ever made on their phone.
That's ridiculous.
That's what I said. This guy claims he was. I think he's in Canada. I thought, I've never seen a card that would fit that much stuff.
That's a lot of data. That is a lot of data.
But you know, I remember being amazed. I know. I don't know if he's replied to him. It's one of those, because I was a stranger. He didn't reply this morning. But you know, maybe I might get a reply on. But yeah, I think that's a great way to go. Just imagine that. I know you can have the app and everything, but yeah.
The thing that annoys me about the Big Finish app is it doesn't stream your content. You have to download it to listen to it. I should just be able to stream it. Like, really,
exactly,
why not?
Exactly. It should be their Spotify. Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you might as well do it yourself, and then you could control the sound quality. You can compress it as much as works for your ear. You know, yeah.
Okay, listen. Before we wrap up, as I got you here, we must have this production meeting live. Okay, because we want the chat here. We want the chat here.
Let's see what they think. Let's see what they think, Rabbi. I
told them at the beginning. We're telling them again. We're on Thursday. Thursday is going to be the Thursday Zoo, right? We are going to record as live two shows, and you in the chat are going to be an interactive part of it. So here's the plan. The first show we're going to do is going to be called Comic Book Improv. I haven't got the logo for that done yet. I was playing with it today, couldn't pull it out. Hopefully tomorrow. 3 rounds. You're going to have the comic book writers and artists. And we are going to, and the first round will be you in the chat suggest a genre and a target audience. And we have to come up with you on the fly, a comic book series pitched to you that will meets the brief. Noel will be hosting it. So we'll be doing 3 rounds. That's the first round. The second round will be, you're going to tell us a character that you want us to take over for a year, and we've got to tell you our year. And if you want to start us off at a particular point, let us know. Like, we pick up from the X-Men over here, we pick up from Wonder Woman. You let us know. We have to pitch it to you. And round 3 will be we have to pitch you something in there in a universe that is somebody else's universe that you will suggest. If you want a side book to appear in the DC universe, you tell us whatever universe, the Space 99 universe, whatever you want. We have to pitch it to you, and then any artists in the chat, in the audience, who wants to do any sketches, we will throw your art up online for everybody to see. If anybody wants to work something up more, the next week we'll feature it. You can do merchandise from it. You can sell the original. We were happy to work as a platform with you to that end. So that's the first show. And we have to do that first because Russ Leach is with us, but he's got to be off because he's at 7 o'clock. He's going to be on somebody else's stream, so we got to get him out the door by then. So the second show is going to be we're calling it. What are we calling it, Dan? It is
over.
It was Geek Lord Overmind.
That's it.
That's how we got it. Geek Lord here. 1 second. I will play you the title sequence if I can work it out today. 1 second. I just got to open it up. It's thinking about it. I need to upgrade my Mac. In the next year, I got to get a new one. Tell you, they used to last longer. I got that little spinny wheel. It's thinking about it. Too many systems. 1 second. It's making too much noise. Back. There we go. Share screen. Okay, this is a world exclusive. World exclusive, everyone.
Wow, that's you.
I can tell you're excited. Here we go. This is. I made a little tweak to it since last time we saw it, Dan. Geek Lord Overmind. Added in a little bit of audience cheer with it, a little celebration,
They're overwhelmed. Those good people.
So it's going to be like it's a quiz show, question sports sort of thing. Dan is going to be the host. Dan is the host on this one. I'm going to be a team captain. Joining me on my team will be problem being team captain number 2 will be Noel. I do not know who he's bringing with him. Dan, we need to work out where you're going to get the questions from. Although I googled it, there's a billion places that do like geeky pub quiz questions, right? I came up with I came up with 4 or 5 on my, and I didn't even scroll. It's just like, oh, that's where they are. So that's that, and basically everyone's going to hang out together and it'll be a bit of a zoo. We'll talk about any pressing issues of the day. Dan, is there anything that you would like to let us know? Firstly, go down below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Then subscribe to Dan. If you want to subscribe to Dan first, that's fine. Just come back and subscribe to me. It has been said, I'm a subscription whore. That is true.
Hands up, both hands up. Yes, and if you throw me a sub as well, that's always appreciated. Various things, both live and pre-records over at my channel, the Spacebook, with lots of the usual sort of suspects. Plenty of people you recognise from the Rabbi's channel and elsewhere too. Thanks for having me, Rabbi. I've enjoyed it as always.
That we're pre-recording. We're going to be releasing them, I guess, on Saturdays, right? Saturday will be like, so you get like a bit of a Saturday evening thrill. I don't know. Do you put one on your channel? I'm happy to have it on whatever you want to alternate.
Yes, we'll sort it. That's all the boring stuff, isn't it? We'll sort that out.
If you want that, you are more than welcome. Fine. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Dan?
Nothing that I can think of. Just thank you, and thanks to everybody in the chat for listening to all this stuff. Just into unknown 289. The J-bots hurt us by constantly attacking us all and trying to ruin everything enjoyable in life.
Here's the thing. Here's what you do. You just laugh at their absurdity, and there's so much, and they hate it. Oh my god! They had a thread about me say when they thought they were making fun or something, and I just went there. I clearly made them all cry, and they were just meaning pants.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody watching has seen this, but you were their target about a week and a half ago.
Yes,
and it really was pathetic. How I mean, so I'm not going to say anything against the pit because some people are deeply affected by one of their little campaigns, and they really did come for you. There was people going, "Oh, this man needs." They wanted you silenced. I mean, you were on the list of 3 or 4 other people.
You did the right thing.
Shut this man down. Shut this man down. Shut this man down. And you just.
Still here, baby. Still here. Yeah. Fine, but not be much longer. It's like, it's 9:40. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Right. In broadcast button, it's going to ask me, am I sure? Am I sure? Yes, you must be certain in your judgment. That is one of the 48 ways to wisdom. 48 ways to wisdom. I will go over those with you at another time. There are 48 ways that if you master them, you will master wisdom. I'm going to hit end broadcast button, and it's going to give me a little spinny wheel. And we don't know when it's going to stop.